All right. I had to check something real quick. All right, episode 200. Genius take the wheel. I'm going to be struggling to get out of this tight parking spot. Let me see if I can get out of here. You can't even concentrate on this stream because I don't want to scrape up my car. This person is so thirsty to get by. It's like, yo, you see me getting out of the parking spot. Good God. Okay. You guys see the title of the stream. Obviously, I got to do my autopsy first. Wow, making a right-hand turn from the middle lane because it's all about you, buddy. I know, everything is all about you. All right. So, you guys see the title. I'm going to do an autopsy on today's training. Obviously, it's a deload week. It's a deload week, so I will be... Oh, wow. I'm bugging. No seatbelt. Whoa. No good. Okay. So, yeah, it's a deload week. So I did 3 sets of 5 on the squat at 135, which is a little bit more than half of what I normally do. I think there's a Z4 pulling up behind me. Yep, Z4 behind me. Don't see Z4s too often. Wow, that's actually pretty nice. Pretty nice to see. Very nice to see. Very nice to see. Very nice. Very, very infrequent that you'll see a Z4. So, anyway, my normal working weight has been like 245 for a while. I only worked at 135 on the squat. Deadlift, I work at 365. Today I worked at 225. I did 3 sets of 5 and promptly left the gym. And I'm rushing home because, hey, Mrs. Evil, how you doing? Thank you for supporting as always. So I just recorded a video on this congestion pricing nonsense, but I'm just going to continue to rant on it because it really, really grinds my gears. You know, I understand that some people will say, oh, you know, you drivers, you guys are so selfish, right? But I also believe that there is a type of selfishness where, you know, people are very, very quick to talk about some of the things that need to change in the world, but they never want to reach into their own pocket, but they're real gung-ho. They're real quick and fast to try to reach into someone else's pockets. You know, I've seen so many people in the last few days with their stupid rallies cheering on congestion pricing, but would they be cheering on if the money came out of their paychecks? You know, you get these weird liberals who, you know, they're all about, you know, my body, my choice and all this other stuff, right? when it comes to, the desire or the preference for certain people to decide, which human beings should exist or not. They're real gung-ho about that freedom. But my freedom to travel the way I want, no, they are so gung-ho about the prospect of reaching into somebody else's pockets to pay for stuff. And I just think that, I've been a liberal minded person for a long time, and I'm finally now seeing how people turn into conservatives over time. Like, I'm finally starting to see it. I'm finally starting to see it. And it's unfortunate, but this whole thought process of life is better when you're taking from somebody else in their hard work and then giving it to someone else, just the thought of that is what breeds this selfish mind frame that so many people have. And now I'm starting to see where it comes from, and now I'm a little bit less judgy. Not completely like, oh, okay, I'm joining you guys, but I could definitely see why people are fed up with liberalism. And to me, it's really crazy when I hear people talk about, like, oh, we need to put Bibles and the Ten Commandments on the wall at school, and then get involved in that whole thing in the schools and have the taxpayers pay for it. The liberals aren't cool with that. The liberals aren't cool with pushing, people's religions on every kid in the class, because they understand that every kid in the class may have different belief systems. But you want to make the drivers pay for the subway system that they don't use. You see, when somebody wants to use taxpayer money for something you don't agree with, you rail against it. But then when it is something that you do agree with, all of a sudden it's okay to take money out of other people's pockets. If you want the subways to work well so badly, why don't you agree to pay $5 a ride? Because it's a service you use. How about that? How about you go from paying $3 a ride to $5? Oh, wait, because we also understand that the higher ups at the MTA has been stealing the money from the subway system for decades, with fake overtime and no-show jobs for their friends, and contracts awarded to companies who take their sweet time doing the job that pay by the hour, right? Mrs. Evil says FDNY and EMS unions are telling workers to transfer out of the congestion pricing zone ASAP. How many of them drive to work and make under $20 an hour? A lot of them. A lot of them. A lot of them. And the thing is, I didn't cover this in the video, but Mrs. Evil makes a really good point. A masterful point. Have we even begun to think about the unintended consequences of a policy like this? Can you imagine underpaid workers have to pay that live in the outer boroughs? Underpaid workers just annoying. Could you imagine underpaid workers just quitting the job? So now you already have underpaid EMS workers. There's already a shortage of those workers. And they're just like, well, you know what? Maybe the congestion pricing zone doesn't need firefighters. Maybe they're, and again, and I talked about this in the video earlier. You're taking the people that pay the most taxes, and then you throw another tax at them. Do you know what increased taxes does to the tax base? It makes them exit the state. It makes them exit the city. That's what it makes them do. It makes them leave. So when the people who have cars just leave the city and go to another state, and yeah, we don't have the congestion pricing zone, but all of those businesses in the zone have less customers. The businesses that have employees that have to travel into the zone from New Jersey, from upstate New York, from Connecticut, they're probably going to say, you know what, I can just go find another company to work at. And then you have a bunch of companies losing their talent. Or the company says, you know what, in the case of people that I know personally, I'm going to take my business out of the state. I'm not going to allow this to continue to keep happening to my people. We're just going to leave the state. We're just going to stop doing business in New York City. We're going to stop doing business in that part of New York City. We're going to reduce the revenue of everybody that works and owns a business in that area. We're going to take the people who make a lot of money. We're going to continue to drive them out of New York. And then it can be the liberal paradise that all the libbies want, where it's just a bunch of poor people, messed up infrastructure, don't have firefighters to respond to fires, don't have EMS to respond to medical emergencies, don't have the NYPD to respond to everything else. I wouldn't be surprised if the cops are like, you know what? We're going to transfer out of the zone. We'll work in the outer boroughs. You guys don't need police officers down here. You have the congestion pricing tolls. That's all you need. And then you're going to have more and more people who pay the bulk of the taxes in the municipality leaving the area. Then what? Well, we know what. We know that the New York City government and we know that the New York State government is just going to continue to keep raising taxes. And when they continue to keep raising taxes on the remaining tax base, do you know what those people are going to do? They're going to continue to leave the state. Then what are they going to do? Oh, wait, they're going to continue to raise the taxes. All right, this is what y'all want. You know, people have been begging me to leave New York City. People have been begging me for pretty much since I came back to New York City in 2003. And I was like, no, I'd rather be homeless here. And I was. Now I'm like, wow, maybe it is me. Maybe I am Boo Boo the Fool. You know, Mrs. Evil has been wanting to live in the suburbs for a long time. We're going to look at some of these unintended consequences and look back. I mean, they got me rooting for Donald fucking Trump. You know, they want everybody to be a liberal, but they keep doing things to make people become more conservative. It's outrageous. We've definitely lost it. We've lost the plot as a society. We really have. We've lost it. And it's just going to continue to keep getting worse, y'all. It's just going to continue to keep getting worse. All right, I'm up out of here. I'm really pissed off and I'm hungry. We'll see what Trump does on January 20th. See if he gets rid of this ridiculousness. Huh. Yep, well, he got him. That's what happens. You don't stop at the stop sign, dumbass. Now you got to pay a $138 ticket because you don't want to stop at the stop sign. I'm being beckoned by Mrs. Evil. She knows how to treat a man. That's why she has one. Take that information how you want it. Anyway, I'm up out of here. I know this is a very angry episode 200, but, it just so happens that this is just what it is. Anyway, I'm up out of here. Y'all have a good one.